Immigration has always been a major driver of economic growth and cultural exchange. But not every country views it as a benefit. In recent years, some nations have taken steps to reduce or completely rethink immigration. Could some of them go as far as banning it entirely? In today's video, we'll look at 5 countries that are tightening their immigration policies and may eventually shut their doors to newcomers. Let's get started. Japan. Japan is known for its rich history, stunning landscapes, and technological advancements. But it's also facing one of the world's most severe population crises. Nearly 30% of its population is over the age of 65, and its birth rate is among the lowest globally. The result, a shrinking workforce and a struggling economy. So why not open the borders to immigrants? That's the question many have asked, but Japan has been hesitant. The country has strict immigration policies, preferring to maintain its cultural homogeneity. Instead of relying on immigrants, Japan is investing heavily in automation and robotics to solve its labor shortage. Experts predict that unless Japan dramatically shifts its stance, it could become one of the most closed-off countries in the future. Hungary. Hungary has been at the forefront of anti-immigration policies in Europe. Led by Prime Minister Viktor Orban, the government has built fences along its borders and passed laws to block migrants from entering. Orban argues that immigration threatens Hungary's national identity and Christian heritage. In 2015, during the European migrant crisis, Hungary refused to accept quotas for asylum seekers set by the EU, causing tensions with other member states. Today, Hungary only grants asylum to a handful of applicants each year, and most are required to leave the country. If Orban's policies continue, Hungary could soon become a nation where immigration is virtually non-existent. Denmark. Denmark is often seen as one of the happiest countries in the world, but its immigration policies tell a different story. The Danish government has been making it increasingly difficult for non-Western immigrants to settle there. For example, they recently introduced the controversial ghetto law, which aims to reduce the number of immigrants living in certain areas. This includes measures like limiting the percentage of children from immigrant families in schools and enforcing harsher penalties for crimes committed in these neighborhoods. Denmark's leaders argue that these policies are necessary to maintain social cohesion, but critics call them discriminatory. With such strict measures already in place, it wouldn't be surprising if Denmark took further steps to limit immigration entirely. Australia. Australia has long been known for its tough stance on immigration. The country's Pacific Solution policy sends asylum seekers to offshore detention centers in places like Nauru and Papua New Guinea, rather than allowing them to settle in Australia. The Australian government argues that these policies are necessary to prevent illegal immigration and human trafficking. But critics say they violate human rights. Recently, there's been growing political pressure to further tighten immigration laws, especially as cities like Sydney and Melbourne face overcrowding and housing shortages. While Australia still welcomes skilled migrants and international students, some experts believe that public opinion and political pressures could lead to stricter bans in the future. United States. The United States has long been a beacon for immigrants worldwide, but in recent years, its stance on immigration has become more divided. Political debates over border security, undocumented immigrants, and asylum policies have reached new heights. During Donald Trump's presidency, immigration policies were drastically tightened, including the controversial travel ban targeting several Muslim-majority countries. Even today, there are calls for stricter controls on the US-Mexico border and limits on legal immigration. While the US is unlikely to ban immigration outright, policies could become so restrictive that it might feel like a de facto ban for many. For a country built by immigrants, this shift raises questions about its future identity. Immigration has always been a complex issue, balancing economic needs with cultural and political concerns. As global tensions rise and populations shift, these 5 countries, and others, may continue to tighten their policies. What do you think? Should nations close their borders, or should they remain open to the opportunities that immigration brings? Let us know in the comments below. So this was today's video. If you have something to say, then do say it in the comments, and if you liked this video, then subscribe to the channel. I will keep bringing such videos in future also.